I do have a big boat and I love that. But there's something very special about exploring a river and fishing a river in a kayak. I don't know what it is exactly, it's kind of hard to put your finger on, but I do love how close you are to the water. Any closer you're in, you're swimming in it, so it's close enough to touch and see things in it and on it that you just wouldn't normally see when you're flying past in a big boat. Makes me feel like saying something like, I feel closer to nature in a kayak. But if I said something like that, I'd have to punch myself in the face for being so cliched, so I won't do that. Another awesome thing about being on a kayak is just how quiet it is. I've never been one of those guys who cared about engines. I hate them, in fact. Anything noisy drives me a bit crazy, so in a kayak you're the engine, which can be still a bit whiny, particularly as you get older, but mostly you just get to hear all those great sounds like the birds and the wind and the cool sound of the hull sliding across the water, and crazy sounds like an army of crabs trundling along the mud flaps, which I know it sounds like rain on the top of a tent or something. It's cool. You just get to hear all those plinky plonky sounds of life that you miss when the volume's turned up all the time. If you're like me, sometimes weekends can feel like they last about 8 seconds. That's why days like today are so slow and brilliant, and I know I'm lucky to get them. And the best bit is it's not expensive. Canoes and kayaks are pretty cheap these days. There's no fuel and you don't need any fancy gear. Not to say I don't like toys and tech and stuff like that, but the more basic the gear, the more you can enjoy it sometimes. you can't get more basic than coffee and cream and flathead cooked on the coals, but it's not a basic experience. It's a really rich one. Honestly, it's the best cup of coffee you'll ever have, and fish just doesn't get any fresher than that. If I had all the money in the world, I reckon this is what I'd still be doing. Maybe just a bit more often, I guess. Truth is, I think I've always done this kind of stuff, these things, because I wanted to feel more like a man. But a funny thing is, doing them like today, it just makes me, makes me feel more like a kid again.